This ain't no rap shit. Definitely ain't no cap shit, man. It's a whole lot of legal trap shit. Tell the folks where we're at today and who we got in the building.
It's your boy OG Poppy, tattoo artist and owner of the Kandy shop here in Arlington, Texas. And you are locked in.
So for the ones that don't know who OG Poppy is, who is OG Poppy?
Who is OG Poppy? I am a father, a fisherman, and your most famous black successful tattoo artist on the planet. I own the Kandy shop, which has 30 artists on staff. We have a whole night shift, day shift. I've been approached by multiple reality shows. Some of them weren't right for us. Some of them we're still in mix with. So that's who I am.
You say a night shift and a day shift. Is that like, are you guys 24 hours or?
Yes, we open 11 a.m. till about 3 a.m., 4 a.m. if it's busy. There's a day shift and then there's a night shift.
How long have you been doing tattoos, or how long have you been in the tattoo game, just in general?
Oh man, it's hard to, I guess you could say as a tattoo artist, you don't really start tattooing until you're starting to get money and booked for tattooing. Because before then, you're just messing around on your partners. You know, you might do a tat here, a tat there. But I would say for me, the last 25 years straight, just only tattooing.
At what age did you get into like tattooing? Or how did you even know like this is my lane and this is why I can get paid at?
Man, I got in tattooing, I think I was 15. And used to be a shop in San Diego. And there used to be a biker gang that came through there. And black biker gang, they wouldn't let our Caucasian brothers tattoo them at this shop. And they knew I messed around, so they was getting me to do, simple stuff. I'm 15, I'm doing big lettering across the back, tribals down the arm for the bros and stuff like that. So I'm like 15, 16 with $3 in my pocket. How can I work at McDonald's after that?
And so from there, what did you do?
From there, I moved to Texas. I started getting in trouble. Streets I had to separate myself from. Brought my family out to Texas. Started tattooing at the townhome. A lot of people still know me from tattooing at the townhome over here in Heather Glen. So that's where I got my start. But stuff caught fire off of MySpace. I remember uploading tattoo pictures on MySpace and my phone would literally blow up. So I got too big for my little townhome, and the state inspector came to my door one day and I told him, you gotta go get a warrant, sir. You know how we do, sir. You go get you a warrant. He came back with the SWAT team. So I knew then, it was time to move.
How did that turn out for you when they came back with the SWAT team, search warrant and all that?
You gotta comply, I got kids in the house. Hey, y'all can search this. I ain't doing nothing. I'm making tattoo videos, But thankfully, Sister Alley Katz, she came and got a tattoo from me. And she said, hey, you should tattoo in the back of my salon. I have a little spot you could tattoo at. Man, ever since then, that's where really the Kandy shop started. So me and her husband linked up, and that's my business partner to this day. 20 years later, this is what it's grown into.
Officially, when did you get like your first shop and branch off from tattooing back there?
Officially, my first shop was the California and Cooper. I'd say it's been 13 years since that first location. And then I branched off and had a shop in Dallas and Arlington. We closed one shop, we opened another shop in Grand Prairie. We closed all of them when COVID hit, and now it's just this one big shop, and I brought all my artists here to work here at the mega shop.
What are some of the challenges that you're faced with as being a shop owner?
Man, there's so many challenges being a shop owner. The culture, artists with entitlement issues, and we swiftly correct that here. Helping artists and they don't want to help themselves, to kind of being blackballed because our Caucasian brothers don't think tattooing is for us when it's really the other way around. White people, you should be finding a black tattoo artist because all we do is tattoo black pigmented, melanated skin. So it's easy for us to switch over to white, light skin. So a little bit of racism here and there, you know. A lot of people blocked on my pages, talking crazy. Just minor things like that. I'd say the biggest issue is correcting yourselves over the years to the new regulations from the state. You know, you can't just throw your needles in the trash can and throw your trash out back. You got to have a business to come in and do that for you. Just that kind of stuff. And not knowing when you first start, you know, some of the potholes and loopholes that you can take advantage of. So after learning all that over the years, man, it's been a learning experience.
You spoke on culture. What is the culture in this environment at this shop? Like, what kind of culture are you breeding?
The culture here is a learning culture. Some artists act like they know everything. You can't show them nothing. But here, we learn. Even our best artists are learning something new every day because tattooing changes every day. Before it was the big bold lines, now it's minimal lines and minimalistic shading. You know, you got dot shading, whip shading, all the different styles you can pick up along the way. No artist knows everything or does everything well. They do what they do well. And the different artists will do something different well. So why not learn the whole range and stay in a learning environment, a learning culture?
What strategies do you use to attract and retain talented artists and keep them coming back? Or because you said you have what, a 30-man staff?
Yes, we have 30 artists here. The strategy is turn the whole, I guess you would say, pyramid of the boss and his workers, right? You flip that to the workers down to the boss. And what that means is I'm not taking 50% of what you make. You pay the house and you take the rest home and you feed your family. Because, you know, I don't know about y'all, my bills are kind of keep coming every month and they don't stop. So as a tattoo artist, you want a consistent flow of clients, a consistent income that you can take home. I'm not in their pockets. So we've really flipped the whole, I'm gonna take all the money as the boss and I'm gonna give you a percentage of, you know, whatever you made or whatever the shop made. So we don't even operate like that.
So how does it work for your artists? Explain, just go a little bit more in detail about that.
More in detail? So artists at the Kandy shop pay what we call a booth fee, more like how a barber would do at a salon. You pay your booth rent for a week or for the month, and then you take in whatever you make. So if you make 1,000, your booth rent is 200, you made 800 bucks. Not, I take 400 and give you 400. So that's a real incentive for tattoo artists, especially ones that are just starting out, don't really have a big name or a big, you know, social media following and all that. They can come in and still go home 100 grand a year.
Cool, cool. So what are some of the cons when it comes to owning a tattoo shop, having a staff? What is that like for you?
The cons on owning a tattoo shop are, the one that gets me, I'm gonna just say that, the one that bothers me is I pour into an artist. I train them, I teach them, I show them this, I show them that, and they leave.
How how did that make you feel after you gave them some game and they think they got out of the game and now they gonna run out?
So over the years, I've learned to kind of, that's what they gon' do. You know, it's a different culture. If somebody was feeding me, taught me how to fish, and I start fishing, I'll always be loyal to that person, even if I do move on. But I ain't gonna move on and, you know, duck off out the back door after I done got them all gamed up for another shop to benefit what we started on, you know.
Does that happen to you a lot?
It's happened a lot. I've actually, my apprentice was Nightshell. She's on Black Ink. Y'all may know her. She, I guess, got in trouble with boyfriends and situations in the shop. She really couldn't, so she bounced out. And I'm sitting here like, wait a minute. But we're happy for her, you know. But it does take when you pour into somebody and you start to see them mature and grow and you're like, yeah, keep this, yeah. And then they, and and you left there like, well, damn. But other than that, when people do get it right and open their own shop, I have a bunch of artists who have went out, opened their own shops, and that's the goal of every tattoo artist, or it should be a goal of every tattoo artist that works here, to eventually branch off and start your own thing.
Are you still willing to accept apprentices and stuff like that, even though you've been burned in the past?
Yes, I'm still open to teaching. It's just in me to do it. You know, I could turn cold and turn people away, but it's in me to be a mentor. I want to see us all win. Plus, I've educated more women tattoo artists, more black tattoo artists. You're seeing more black tattoo shops that have come through the Kandy shop. Who we got? One Up, Blasted, Arlington Inc. I mean, the list goes on. Big Dog Studio. I mean, the list goes on and on of artists who started here or came through here and created their own vision.
What are some of the pros when it comes to being your own boss, owning the shop, and stuff like that?
Some of the pros for me, I didn't get into tattooing to be the world's greatest painter or the world's greatest. I got into tattooing as a need to feed my family, to provide, to put meat on my table. So for me, just seeing my family grow, you know, kids getting older, I'm able to provide things they need to help them along their journey. I even got grandkids now, so watching them grow, that's really what feeds my spirit. Not really I won an award on Ink Master or the reality shows. That's cool, I appreciate it, but my focus is being a provider.
Speaking of winning awards on Ink Masters, what was that process like? How did you get your name out there? And how were you able to grow your name to even get recognized by such a big show and stuff like that?
Well, when I started making a name for myself, there was Maya Bailey, Jackie Gresham, and Zulu, who were like the leading black tattoo artists in America. And then me and a group of other brothers started making the names and coming up for ourselves. So my name is always spread around in the industry, and they're always hitting me up to have artists go on their shows and, you know, reality shows. I'm not into the competition tattooing, but a lot of brothers are, so I'll send them my monsters over there to go represent for what we do.
So you was on a lot of these reality shows. You know, what was that like for you?
The reality show experience was pretty dope. It taught me a lot. It taught me how to be more professional, how to talk correctly, how to get a point across on a camera, how to take your personality, like my personality, I'll sit in the dark and draw, right? You can't do that, right? You got to bring yourself out. You got to amp yourself up. If you want to say, create a character or be a higher level of yourself, or it's like you're going out in front of you're going out on stage as a rapper. Now, the rapper who was just in the back room, smoking a blunt, chilling, laughing with his boys, instantly becomes what you see him performing in music videos or on a stage and running across the stage. You gotta do the same thing when they turn that camera on, or else it'll just be a dull moment and they won't use the footage.
You spoke about professionalism that it taught you. Do you feel like being a black entrepreneur, a black business owner, when it comes to customer service and all that good stuff, you're scrutinized a lot more than other businesses?
Black-owned businesses, definitely. You could go to any black-owned business and go to their Google and just see their reviews, and you'll start to get a sense of what we go through as black tattoo shop owners or black business owners. You're gonna have your own people, you know, giving you bad reviews. You're gonna have definitely the competition sending people to give you bad reviews to keep you knocked down, because everybody's competing If this was a salon, we'd be competing with other salons. This was a motorcycle shop. Other motorcycle shops would be competing with us. So as a tattoo shop, and we got dope shops in Texas. I ain't taking nothing away. Hey, they do their thing. We got about 7 tattoo shops right on this street. So you really got to jump out there and create a professional atmosphere to the best of your ability. You know, there's going to be mess ups, and if there is a mess up, you stand on your mess up. If I do a tattoo and a line goes missing, I'm not going to run from you. You know where to find me. We're going to set a date to do your touch up and get you squared away. So just stuff like that you learn over the years. You ain't got to be upset because, you know, oh, I did my job. You know, you gave me the money. The transaction is over. Stand behind your work. Look people square in the eye and tell them what you're about.
You spoke on competition. Do you feel like it's a lot of competition in this game? Do you ever get blindsided by the competition?
I'm pretty much in my own lane, but there is competitive tattoo shops that they want to win awards, show that they're great. That way they feel they could charge more money. And I get that part. What I don't like about it is it keeps other artists who are coming up in the game, and then you got this major artist going, oh, your shit is bullshit. You know, and it kind of crushes the younger dope artists who would be dope, but they got crushed by the industry competitors, and they stop what they love to do. That's the bad part. That's the part you don't see on TV. Like some of these tattoo artists lose, they go home and they commit suicide or self-medicate or, you know, just get into weird, you know, stuff. So there's good and there's bad. Now, if you say, Poppy, I can do a tattoo better than you, well, shit, go ahead and do your thing. I'm gonna make more money than you.
So have you ever had, as far as like doing tattoos, have somebody ever stolen your work or even tried to copy your work or even took credit for your work?
Oh yeah, tattoo artists get taken from all the time. You gotta almost, I gotta hand it to that brother, Real Tattoos. He'll draw something knowing that we're all gonna steal it, right? So he'll draw something, you know, of course he's gonna watermark it and do all that. But that's what you offer to the game. That's what you're offering to the younger artists behind you trying to create dope material. It's almost like NBA Youngboy, and now you have thousands and thousands of young rappers sounding like NBA Youngboy. It's the same thing in tattooing. Somebody will do a dope piece, and you'll see that piece on 20, 30 people.
And it's just there.
It's
And nobody can really take the credit for it.
I could draw a flower, post it online, and I'll see that flower tattooed in Mexico somewhere or North Carolina somewhere on somebody, and I'll just go, oh, okay.
That means you got influence.
That's your influence, and that's the biggest thing people don't catch on to. My influence reaches further than just me and sitting here in Arlington, in DFW, in Texas. I mean, it reaches to Japan, Canada, Mexico. You see my influence all over because I'm not acting like a gatekeeper. I'm acting like a wave generator. This is what we're going to do this summer, and you throw it out there. I'll draw something, put it online, throw it out there. Let other artists eat off of that, and you really create your own influence further than you can imagine.
Have you ever had like a client come here with some like an unethical tattoo request?
I haven't had it lately, but I have had it in the past. I won't get too graphic on your camera, but skin is skin, but some places don't need to be tattooed. I mean, one summer, I don't know where this came from, but putting a star on your brown cookie is not
recommended?
Not recommended.
Did you do that tattoo still?
For one summer, I don't know where the fad came from, but it was like back-to-back people. I was like, where y'all getting this from? So yeah, I didn't have my time.
What are like what are some of your craziest moments or craziest experiences just being in the tattoo game?
Oh man, you see all kind of stuff. Crazy for me. One of my clients, she had been partying. They had went to Houston, partied, drove back up here, didn't sleep, didn't eat. She comes to get a tattoo, and all she said was, "Poppy, I want to go home," and she passed out. Pow! I don't know what it is about black people where we laugh at somebody who falls first. Like I was, she hit her head pretty good. But my first, why is our first reaction to go, oh,
You okay?
yeah. So, but other than that, like artists passing out drunk, the fun stuff you see like on Black Ink, we got all that here. So yeah, you see some weird stuff going on around and in a tattoo shop.
We talked about your successes and stuff like that, but let's tap in on some of your failures, because a lot of people don't get to see the failures. You get online and all you see is the successes.
Yeah.
What are some of your failures?
Some of my failures, I look at it as motivation, even though it stings and hurts at the moment. So I lost an artist who, in a car accident, Junior. So he passed away. And I took that as a failure because he had left the shop, wasn't doing good, and we didn't reach out to him or get him back in the fold like we should have. So losing an artist, not just like another shot, but death. And then recently we had an artist get shot, Tone passed away. Those are like real losses because you know this person and they feel like family. You've worked with them day in, day out. Business-wise, COVID hit and my Kandy Cuts barbershop didn't make it. It didn't survive. Nobody was going to school anymore. All the clubs was closed. The bros who come get cleaned up for the club, all that's gone. So that didn't make it. And that was a loss because I really liked creating that barbershop environment. Now, opening the shop, closing the shop, moving the shop, that's all business, They'll open the McDonald's one week and close it down the next, and it'll be a Taco Bell. That's what corporations do. If one isn't performing, you close it down, you get into another hot spot. So right now, we're looking to expand into another shop soon. But some of my biggest losses, I think, would be losing artists and then having the barbershop closed because I have to look at men in their face who provide for their families and say, we got to close.
How did you pivot from that and make it, and like turn around and was able to still stay afloat?
I know the cool word is called pivot from, but I think you carry that with you. Like I never want any of my artists where I have to close the door on them or we have to shut down like totally. No shops open, nothing, and nobody can provide the way we've been providing for our families. I think you use it as fuel, but you carry it with you.
On this journey that you've been on for the last 25 years plus, have you ever become discouraged and wanted to give up? And if so, how did you work through that?
Discouragement comes with all of this. In business, you're going to have, when you look at that bottom line and it ain't cutting it, or you're just breaking even, in tattooing, that would probably be your Christmas months.
Is that when it gets slow?
Oh yeah. So you really have to build your clientele up to carry you through those. But now, not every artist has that, so it creates. You get discouraged when money's not coming in, and thank God for the clients that come through, and you really got to promote yourself and get out there. But other than that, I'm pretty laid back. I don't get too up and I don't get too low. I kind of keep it right in the middle. So you won't find me discouraged a lot about anything. To me, life happens, even to me. You know, I go through stuff on the personal. I don't bring that into the shop. That's part of being professional. Work is work. And when I go home, home is home. I don't carry work to home or home to work.
So they don't cross and intertwine with each other.
No, no.
Cool. So for the ones that's looking to get into tattooing, or just the entrepreneur game, you know, in general, you know, what advice do you have for those?
If you're looking to get into the tattoo game, please do. You could start with a sketch pad and walk into a shop and have somebody show you how to turn that pen or pencil you're using to sketch, put a tattoo machine in your hand and practice with that shit. You can go on Amazon and get you a kit and start teaching yourself. It's not like the old days where you got to sit up under somebody and intern or apprentice or do a 3-year apprenticeship. My apprentices, they come in, first thing I'm doing is putting a tattoo machine in their hand just so they can catch, oh, okay, and then you got it. As an artist, you're gonna click, you know, if I have you a spray can, you're gonna learn that. If I hand you a pen, you're gonna learn that. If I hand you a paintbrush, you're gonna learn that. It's the same thing with a tattoo machine.
Would you say if you can draw, you can tattoo?
If you can draw, I'll even go further. If you can write in cursive, you can tattoo. This is what we do all day.
That's it.
And to shade, scratch, 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 shade.
Have you ever had somebody, well, first of all, I seen like, I guess the tattoo industry is not really, I guess it's regulated, but it's not regulated. Like you don't have to be licensed or anything.
No, that's false. You have to be licensed in the state of Texas to tattoo people. So we've been holding our license for, I think, 15 years now.
The shop has to be licensed or every individual?
So in Texas now, it's different. This is where it gets, artists here are under my license. California, you as a person have to go in and take a test to get your license that you own. But in Texas and Oklahoma and a few other states, the shop has to be licensed and then you work under that license. So if there's a problem, a tattoo artist goes too deep, they have to go to the hospital, they're gonna call the state inspector, he's gonna come and he's gonna talk to you and you're gonna have to show them the plaque on the wall. Now, if you get caught out there, that's when you can, you know, get a hefty lawsuit. And no minors. I get a lot of, I'm his dad, I'm bringing him, he's 16, can't do it, not in Texas. Only if a judge gives you permission, like if he's got a gang tat, he wants to go in the Army, then you can bring him in, get the tat covered up by, you know, per the judge.
Has it always been that way?
It's always been that way, but of course, I see kids in 8th grade, 9th grade with tattoos.
I went to a lot of shops and I seen, you know, they had parent consent forms.
Mm-hmm.
So that was never a thing.
That's never a thing.
But people are still out here doing it.
And that's where I get people almost every other day, hey, I want to bring my kid. And when I get those texts or those calls, I instantly go back to what's in the state regulations. And that's what we have to go by. A lot of shops that you're dealing with, I ain't gonna say no names, but they got marks and they have fines. You know, if they want to pay a $10,000 fine, that's, you know, that's their business.
Have you ever had the state inspector come up here and roll in on you because you got a complaint?
Oh yeah.
You know, how do you deal with those?
Most of our complaints are haters that call just every day. And it's gotten so bad for the candy shop. They don't do this with the shop down the street, they shop. They do this here. So they've called so much that we know the state inspector. We have a relationship with the state inspector. But my angle has always been, even when I first opened the first shop, is other shops run from inspectors, right? The inspector's here, oh shit. No, I went right up to him. Yes, please tell me what the standard is. That way I can make my standard higher than that, and we ain't got no problems. And it's been that way. We ain't had one issue, nothing, never shut down on being a dirty shop or anything like that for 13 years. So we're doing pretty good.
What is your outlook when it comes to cleanliness? How do you keep a shop with so many people in and out and so many artists so pristine? Because you walk in here, look good, and smell good.
Yeah, my artists are amazing. They tattoo, they clean up between each client, and then before they go home. Now, if something slips through that, we have a cleaning lady that comes in and makes sure everything is clean. We also do our own inspections. We'll walk through the shop, a cup here, or just stuff people forget, and we'll clean that up for them so we don't get hit.
How do you stay up to date or with the trend when it comes to the tattoo industry constantly changing, from designs to equipment to just the technique?
Yeah, the tattoo industry changes so much and overnight that you have to really stay on your toes and learn from who you want to learn from. Reach out to artists that you kind of dig their style or what they doing, or ask them how they did that. Most artists are open to that. A lot of artists are closed off, so you got to kind of work your way around that. Plus now, you got Instagram, you got TikTok, you got people showing you actually how to whip shade on these videos and all this kind of stuff. So there's no way you should be behind, stuck in 1970, using deodorant and coil machines. You got to update yourself. Like, I started with coil machines, but I ain't got them today. I got these Bishops. This is like top of the line equipment. So light, don't make a loud sound. Like my coils used to be like tractors. But people were more scared of the sound than getting a tattoo. So update your stuff. And then I'm gonna take it a step further. Create your own products. This is Godzilla snot. This goes into your ink for your mixing solution.
And that's something you created yourself?
This is stuff we create ourselves. So you get to a level in the game where you can create products like, this is a Kong spit, ink for melanated skin. So this ink is so dark that it shows up on the darkest bruhs. You could be from Kenya and your tattoo is gonna show up.
What was the process like for you to even be able to create your own products and your own ink and stuff like that?
I've dabbled. You gotta dabble around. You gotta find what works. You gotta find your suppliers. You gotta find your vendors. You got to know what the regulations are, what you can and can't put into that ink that's going to go into somebody's skin. So you got to educate yourself, and you got to research. Just research. Look up ash. Look up pigments for tattoos, stuff like that.
Speaking of ink, a lot of people get tattoos done, and the artists that they go to aren't using the proper ink for their skin.
Right. You gotta know it goes for everybody, but as a black tattoo artist, you wanna get ink that is triple black at the minimum. So dump all that eBay stuff, some artists just get the cheapest possible equipment that they can find, right? You can't do that. You want your work to start to take off and be better and show better and last longer than just making a buck off people. So educate yourself on melanated skin, what ink works, and ask another bro, another sister, hey, what ink is really gonna stay solid if you are new to the game.
Cool. So tell people where they can find you at on social media, the location.
You can find me at Instagram at OG Poppy, YouTube. I'm everywhere. Just OG Poppy. You can Google me. You'll see the good and the bad. I have nothing to hide.
And y'all heard it first, man. We live at the Kandy shop with OG Poppy, man. This ain't no rap shit. Definitely ain't no cap shit, man. It's a whole lot of legal trap shit.